Talk to me again why a vertical integration like this should face US antitrust suit.
Well, the argument is that it shouldn't, and that's certainly the argument that AT&T and Time Warner have both put forward. And look, as you say, it's not a huge surprise. If you look at the Time Warner stock, it's down, but sort of less than 2%. So obviously, this was reasonably well telegraphed.
Yes.
I think what's so interesting here is, it's this idea of vertically integrating companies is never really something the Department of Justice take too seriously. It's seen as being fairly sort of neutral in terms of the competitive landscape. I guess what this reflects is that the sort of market power architecture has changed so significantly in the last few years in terms of, companies like Amazon. Amazon goes out, buys Whole Foods. Does that create any antitrust? Not really. But because they're so powerful, because it's such a huge monster of a company, it can actually go and upset the whole grocery sector. So you do have to look at these deals now in the round. This is content and distribution being put together. You would say, under normal circumstances, no overlap whatsoever. But obviously, justice feel different.
Pricing implications going forward.
Yeah, and what does this actually mean in terms of other potential deals? 21st Century Fox with Comcast or Disney. I mean, is this really going to be the gold standard that could potentially put other deals on hold from a regulatory standpoint to see how this resolves what happens in court? Yeah,
I think, look, undoubtedly, just the very fact that the DOJ are doing this, whether or not they succeed in litigation, that will have a chilling effect on big deals, particularly sort of deals of this kind of high-profile nature. I think one question which inevitably will be revisited again and again, particularly if this does go to court, is to what extent is this Trump really doing some kind of high-level political interference to try and stop this deal from going through? He's very vocally said he doesn't like CNN on multiple occasions, and I think he even said before he was president that this would be a deal that, if he were to be made president, would be blocked. So it's hard to see a scenario where, at least AT&T don't really push the case that this has been the subject of quite serious political interference.
And his top antitrust enforcer appeared to, before being put in the position, suggest it was okay, and afterwards now has done a U-turn.
Suddenly turned, yeah.